What's up, guys? This is Steven with the Golden Voices show, where the topics are platinum, and this is going to be our very first podcast. And I only have one other host with me today. His name's Braden. Why don't you say what's up?
Yo, what up? How y'all doing tonight?
All right, guys. So for our first episode, we're going to kind of keep this shorter. In the beginning, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the show is going to be about and what I want it to transition to. This one's only going to probably be around 30 minutes to an hour, probably closer to 30 minutes, just so that way we can kind of get some practice down and kind of get the feel of it. We have a few topics we're going to discuss, and what you should probably be doing while you're listening to this show, this isn't really going to be a thing of, you just sit down and this is all you do. I mean, you should probably do some homework. You can go run, work out. You can do whatever. This is kind of a thing where you can occupy years, so that way you're not bored whenever you do, whatever you're doing.
It's kind of something to give you something to think about while you're doing all that.
Yeah, I mean, like, during school, I know all my classes are online, so I'm in the same room with white walls, all day working on the same computer program. So I listen to one of my favorite podcasts, which is PKA, which that's one of my favorite. And I kind of want to kind of mold this one kind of after that. And I've done a couple of podcasts before, but they never really got off the ground. They were somewhat successful, but we just couldn't keep them going. This one I want to kind of keep, I want to make it every week. I want to upload probably every Sunday, every Saturday or Sunday. I haven't quite decided yet. Anyway, let's go ahead and start off with the first topic. You want to go with one of yours?
Yeah. Real quick, I've been thinking about getting a tattoo for a while, but I really haven't decided what. Tell me what y'all think. I'm thinking about getting the Dark Mark from Harry Potter. It's one of my favorite things that I've seen. It's going to be on the forearm. And, I've heard that there's going to be a lot of controversy about it, but I'm just not quite sure. What do you think, Steven?
A lot of what? Controversy?
Controversy.
Controversy. Is that like a... you can kind of explain what the tattoo is. Like, what does it look like?
All right. Well, it's basically a skull with Nagini is the snake's name, but it's that snake wrapped around the skull in kind of a figure eight fashion, and I find it's pretty legit. It's what the Death Eaters wear.
Okay. See, I haven't watched a whole lot of Harry Potter. I think I watched like the first 3 movies whenever I was younger. I really need to watch them because they are classic movies. That does sound pretty cool. I would, yeah. You want to get that on your forearm?
Yeah, well, that's where they all have it.
Oh, okay. A couple of my tattoo ideas. Whenever I do have kids, I'm wanting to. This is actually kind of copying my cousin. I mean, I know it's kind of a messed up thing to do, but at the same time, he has his kids' names right below his ribs, like right where his stomach starts. And then he has their baby footprints right underneath them. And I kind of want to get that because, it's going to have something that's going to have meaning to me. And it's something I'm really not going to...
regret?
Yeah, I'm not going to regret, which, I actually don't have a problem with any kind of tattoos. And I know that's kind of a big thing. Like, it's kind of a controversy right now with the whole tattoos and piercings in the workplace. Like, a lot of higher-up establishments won't hire you if you got sleeves and tattoos and you got... gauges and nose rings or whatever. I fully support, honestly. I don't think that just because you have tattoos or whatever means you're going to be ignorant or
a scumbag of sorts.
Yeah, which some people who do have tattoos are scumbags, but then again, some people who don't have tattoos are scumbags. It's just
some of the people that most of the people that I've met that have tattoos are actually pretty chill.
Yeah,
they've got 2 or 3 kids. They're real great people.
Yeah, one of the arguments is if someone has tattoos, they're probably not going to want an office job, which is sometimes true, but at the same time it's not. They think they're going to be mechanics or tattoo artists or whatever the hell. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's one of those things. It's kind of almost like people who are racist think that they'll see like a few scumbags of a certain race and they'll think, oh, they're all like that.
It's general stereotyping.
Yeah, but you can find in just about any way of life, any race, any, men, women, blacks, whites, Mexicans, everything. You're going to find that each race and way of life has their scumbags and their people that everyone doesn't like.
Yeah.
Whites, there's white trash. I can't stand white trash. I can't stand the black people who, are constantly thugging around and in and out of jail. I can't stand anyone like that. And I have a lot of black friends. I have a lot of white friends. I'm very anti-racist.
Gained a black friend, plus 3 street cred.
Oh, we're going Skyrim up on this one. Always got to have that street cred. But anyway, it's one of those things. People really need to understand that that every way of life is going to have their scumbags, and we just got to understand that we have to be able to weed those people out. And I don't think having a tattoo should automatically disqualify you for having a good job. I think they should focus more on the ability to do the job. Police record, definitely.
It's more of what's on the inside than what people think about, a lot of jobs these days, they're looking for someone, quote-unquote, professional. Those who have tattoos, some of them aren't that professional, but most from what I've seen are very professional, and they're good at what they do.
Yeah. And I mean, you do have to draw a line. You can't hire some guy that says "fuck bitches," on his forehead. You can't hire that.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is a standard to go along with that. But there are those, like I said before, that you just kind of have to hire based on their work quality, their past work experiences, what they're good at.
Yeah, and I mean, most people who do try to get those jobs, they can't do it because they have one tattoo, like on their forearm or something where it's kind of difficult to cover up. Like, you don't want to go every day where you have to wear a long sleeve shirt just because you have a tattoo on your forearm.
Yeah, or past bad decisions.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone's a teenager or a young adult at one point. They're gonna make bad decisions that they regret. Not saying that tattoos are a decision everyone regrets, but just that's one of the more things that oh, I'm out of the house now. I don't have to listen to what my parents say. I'm going to go rebel and get a tattoo. A lot of people do that. I want tattoos. I mean, it depends, like, just for the whole fact that there is that standard of, high-paying jobs usually don't hire people with a lot of tattoos. I probably won't get a whole lot unless my radio career, which that's kind of one of the things I'm leaning towards, either my radio career or my writing career. If either of those takes off, I probably will make my body a canvas for ink.
Yeah, always.
Definitely. Real quick, I think we're done with that topic. I just want to say something real quick. I'm usually wanting around 3 or 4 people on the show, so if any people are interested in becoming another co-host, even if you can't, like, we have another friend, his name's Barry. He was going to be on the show tonight, but he's in town he's just on break from college, and his parents are taking him up to a town about 45 minutes to an hour away from here, so he couldn't be on the show. So, I mean, even if you wanted to be on it once or twice, just definitely send me a message on Facebook or YouTube or whatever and just let me know if it's something you're interested in, because we're always looking for more hosts, and, the more people that we have that can be available, the better.
Yeah, always. Always.
All right, so for our next topic, I'm wanting to talk about something called biofeedback. Now, I have pretty bad cases of anxiety and depression, and most people go through something like that throughout their life. Some people is more serious than others. Mine's to the point where I almost dropped out of school. Like, it's what made me resort to drugs in the first place, and all that stuff. And it just got really bad. And I personally can't stand antidepressants or anti-anxiety pills. Just being hooked on a pill and relying on that, medication in order to function in everyday life. I just don't like the idea of that. So personally, it's called biofeedback, and it's these breathing exercises, and you'll breathe a certain way, and that'll send. It's basically, all right. Let me explain the fight or flight receptors in your brain. Basically, it's like it's going to tell your brain whether or not it should be full of adrenaline, if you're ready to fight, or if you're ready to just calm down. And these breathing exercises actually tell your body to calm down, so that way you can actually relax. I mean, this is chemical. It's not just breathing exercises to calm you down. This is literally scientific ways to calm yourself down. And it's not just used for anxiety or depression either. Like, I have a cousin who uses it for migraines. Like, my mom uses it for her irritable bowel, and it's so much stuff. I apologize if my mom ever hears that and I just embarrassed her, but it can be used for a ton of different things. Like, I mean, it's really a cool thing, and I just think a lot of more. It's not really known enough yet, and a lot of people should definitely look into it.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, with this biofeedback, I mean, it's non-habit forming. With those antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills, people are getting addicted to that shit, and it's just making them even worse than what they really are.
Yeah.
And with this biofeedback breathing techniques, it's just, you're sitting there and just breathing slowly and calmly, just sitting there, maybe listening to your favorite jams or whatever, and just chilling,
say there's actually I go to a therapist every week for it, and it's kind of cool because they'll hook me up to like some some monitors, and it'll actually show my heart rate and all that stuff, and that's really helpful. But not everyone has the money for that, and I mean our insurance has given us like 10 free sessions or something like that. But there's actually a app that you can get on your smartphone that's called My Calm Beat, and it'll show you like what rates to breathe at and stuff, and it definitely helps you out. I mean, I use it during class and stuff, and it just helps you calm down and focus.
Can you find this on like Google Play, or is it just for like iPhone?
I'm not sure. I use it for iPhone, but I'm sure if you want to look it up real quick.
Yeah. What was it called again?
My Calm Beat.
My Calm Beat?
Yeah. So like like a rap beat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I found it.
All right.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yep. So on Google Play, so you can get it on your Android, you can get it on your iPhone, you can download it on your computer or whatever, and it actually has a picture of lungs, and it'll show them breathing like in and out, and it'll tell you like when to breathe in and when to breathe out.
Yeah, and also the app is free.
It is it's free. The only thing though, if you do want like more advanced features on it, it's like $1.99 or something. But actually, a way to get around that. Have you ever heard of the app Feature Points?
Yeah.
Feature Points is an app where like it lets you download some certain apps, and you get points, and you can redeem those for like an iTunes card or an Amazon card or free app on the I don't use it as much anymore because it just doesn't really seem worth it. But I bought a few apps with it, so that's kind of cool. You can get around it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea to start doing this if you have those problems. I mean, it's so much better for you. Like, you're not killing yourself with those drugs, and it's just about free.
Yeah, it's just about free. Say, I've known a lot of people who have been hooked on Xanax and whatnot, and it's not good for you. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I myself was hooked on Xanax there for a while before I'm actually a personal user of this My Calm Beat, and I love it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. All right, you want to go to your next topic?
Yeah. So next things, I vape, and as does Steven here.
Yep.
We're thinking the pros and cons of vaping.
Yep.
Let's see here. Let's go with pros.
All right. I think a pro, aside from, we'll kind of skip the very obvious, it helps you quit smoking. Because it doesn't help everyone quit smoking cigarettes, but the thing is, it is definitely cheaper than smoking cigarettes, because you can get a cheap one for $20 or $30, and it'll do the trick just fine. And then after that, all you really have to buy is the e-juice, which that's the actual, that's what you're actually smoking on, quote unquote.
Well, yeah, and all it does is just it's like water. It's water pretty much. I mean, I love it. I mean, I was a hardcore smoker, and since I've been vaping, I haven't smoked a legit cigarette in over 3 months.
And it's one of those things like. The only really harmful thing in it is nicotine, and nicotine in itself isn't necessarily bad for you. That's just the addictive factor in cigarettes that makes you want to buy more. Yeah. So you're not smoking the carbon monoxide or the thousands of other chemicals that they put in it.
Yeah. With all the chemicals that they put on the tobacco itself. Excuse me. And, overall, it's just great. I mean, you get all kinds of wonderful flavors. Right now, Steven, he's vaping green apple.
Yummy.
Yeah. Currently, I'm using a mixture of vanilla and Bahama Blizzard, which is pretty great, I must admit. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I actually got suspended from school about a week or two ago for vaping in the locker room with one of my friends, which which I can understand the fact that I should get in trouble for it. What kind of made me angry was they treated it as if I got 3 days suspension, and the policy is the same as if I was just lighting up a cigarette in the locker room. So if I lit up a cigarette in the locker room versus taking a puff off of a e-cigarette, then it's the exact same punishment. So
yeah, well, I think what they're going with there is that it's it's like a cigarette.
Yeah,
I mean, it has the nicotine, which cigarettes do have, but I agree that I don't think that it should be the same. I mean, it's electronic.
Yeah.
So I think it should be treated as an electronic device and not like a legit cigarette.
I would agree. And cons are going to be kind of difficult to come up with. Do you have any cons in mind?
Well, from what I've heard, one big con, if you vape for too long, from what I've heard, you could get holes in your brain.
I don't know if I believe that, though.
Yeah, I don't know either. I went on WebMD and looked up some of the stuff. It's like,
Can you pick me up, do you think?
I'm getting a phone call.
I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Hello?
Okay, well, he's taking a phone call, so I'm going to take over the show by myself for a short bit. With the whole thing, I think it's more of just a fear of the unknown in terms of the whole vape, or the whole putting holes in your brain, because they haven't really been tested enough to know it's not damage-free to you, but I don't think there's any chance of holes in your brain. I just don't see how it could do that to you. Two more pros on the vaporizers though is, one, the odor is not there. You smoke in your car with the windows up, or if you smoke in your house or whatever, the whole house/car is just going to reek of cigarette smoke, which even to smokers is not a very pleasant smell. And vape don't really have that. It also doesn't make your teeth all yellow and what's it called? It doesn't make your teeth stained. That's what I'm looking for. It doesn't stain your teeth. It doesn't do anything like that to you. So it's just, I feel like the pros very much outweigh the cons, unless they do scientifically prove it puts holes in your brain. In that case, I probably will put down the vapor. Oh, another pro, just real quick, is the lack of cancer it causes. You see, the way cigarette smoke can give you lung cancer is the smoke goes down into your lungs, and then it stays for a little bit, and that's what actually builds up the tar, and that's what gives you the lung cancer, is the tar. But with the vape, it goes into your lungs and it just dissipates. It's just gone at that point, and that's how it's not as bad for you for your lungs either. So you're getting a better substance. There's not as much cancer. It doesn't leave any odor. Doesn't stain your teeth. Cheaper. There's just so many more benefits to that than smoking tobacco.
Yeah, and you don't go home smelling like an ashtray.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
But another downside, one of the biggest arguments I've heard is that you're putting liquid in your lungs. Okay, that's understandable. From what I've heard, during the winter, you could get pneumonia.
I haven't heard that.
That's meh. Yeah, that can be serious at times, but it's not as bad as one would think.
Still, that's a chance of pneumonia versus almost a guarantee of cancer if you smoke for a while, because it could be on your first cigarette or your 10,000th cigarette, but eventually, if you smoke your whole life, cancer... You have
quite a bit higher chance of getting lung cancer than just the average Joe.
Yeah, and I said a little bit ago, whenever he was taking the phone call, this doesn't cause cancer, because the the vapor just goes into your lungs and then dissipates. It doesn't stay in your lungs and build up the tar, which does cause cancer.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things with cigarettes is the tar buildup.
Okay, so real quick, we're going to go on to the next topic, which it's more of a question than a topic, and this is going to be a thought-provoking question. It's one of my favorites. It kind of makes you think about the whole purpose of life and almost the meaning. I don't mean to sound too corny or philosophical or anything like that. Bruh, we about to get real deep in here. Okay, so imagine that there's this brick room, okay? It's a brick room, it's big enough that you can sit, there's a chair and a desk, you can sit down, you can walk around a little bit, there's a dim light, but there's no human contact. So you were raised into this world until you turn 18. And then whenever you turn 18, now keep in mind this question is very hypothetical. This isn't going to happen, but...
Well, it might.
Just wait a little bit. You're teleported into this room, this brick room that I described, it's just a plain brick room. There's a table, a chair, dim light. You get fed every day, and now there's two cases. In one case, there are drugs, every drug known to man, and there is a day supply of each one. And then in the other case, there's a gun. Now, what do you do in this situation? Because you have the drugs, the gun, now, and there's no starving yourself or whatever, you're fed, but there's no human contact, there's no entertainment other than the drugs, and then there's the gun. Now, how do you how do you respond in this room? What do you do?
Okay, well, now is there any chance of human contact?
No, zero.
No,
And
none?
you're in this room till you die.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, real quick, how long have I been in this brick room? Like, forever?
I like I said, you're raised until you're 18 in this normal world that we all live in until you're 18, and then you go into this brick room.
Oh, okay, dang.
So you go through your childhood, you go through high school, and then out of high school you go to this brick room.
Wow, man, that is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly don't know what I would do. I mean, the gun is there
To kill yourself. That's the only means of killing yourself is a bullet.
Yeah, and well, with all those different drugs, I mean, that can kill yourself, but very slowly.
Yeah.
You know, and if you only have 1 day's supply for each drug, that's honestly.
Well, I mean, okay, my bad. It replenishes itself, like, so you can do the drugs for the rest of your life if you want.
Oh, okay.
So, like, just how would you respond in the situation?
Honestly, I don't know how I would respond, but after a while, with no human contact, I would just shoot myself. Mm-hmm. Honestly.
And I've asked this to quite a bit of people, and most people would say either they would just straight up, as soon as they got in the room, kill themselves, or they would try the drugs until they just couldn't stand it anymore, and then they would kill themselves, which almost every single outcome is killing yourself, and that's probably how everyone would. That's how I would. That's how, it's going to end in that way. Now, telling you that, we're in a brick house of sorts, if you would say, we're in a brick house in this world at the moment. Now, let me change the situation. You're put in this room at birth. You have no other experience other than this brick room. Now, you're not going to kill yourself because that's all you know. That's all you're raised to know. That's all there really is for you. So you're not going to know any different. There could be so much more other than what we're at right now in Earth, but we just don't know the difference. I mean, obviously we have our quote-unquote entertainment, but it'd be the same standard in that brick room.
Yeah, with those drugs, I mean, that would be your form of...
That's your TV, those are your concerts, that's your...
Yeah, because, like, so you take shrooms every day. You're going to be imagining some pretty heavy stuff, and you're going to just be seeing that all the time. Now, if you were to try, like, heroin or something, you'd just be sitting there tweaking.
Yeah. And so what I like about this question is it makes you think what is really, like, what keeps us going throughout life. And that's just pretty much, in this world, it's human contact, for one. I mean, because everyone has said, okay, so I can be, just fucked up on whatever drug for the rest of my life, but that doesn't matter. I don't get to talk to anyone. I don't get to touch anyone. I don't get to hug. I don't get to love. Yeah. So in that case, then that's all there is. But in this brick room, if you're there from birth, that is your love. That is your human contact, is the drugs. And you're just not going to know any different. So in a way, we're just already satisfied with our own little quote-unquote brick room.
Yeah. I mean, that is a very... I like this situation because it's so thought-provoking.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you really do in that situation?
And I'm interested to hear what all the listeners are thinking too. So just kind of, if you want to, you can go ahead and comment what your thoughts are in this situation. Well, guys, I think that's going to be about the only time we have. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Currently, not really, man. I mean, this has been a great first episode. I think we've done really well, and I'm looking forward to do another one. So hit us up with your feedback on those comments, and just tell us what you think.
Yeah, and just real quick, like I said towards the beginning of the episode, this is probably like the lowest amount of people I want on the show ever. So if we can have 3 or 4 more people, so that way we can keep the show going on longer. Eventually, we're going to try to get it up to an hour, hour and a half, and then from there, once we get bigger, 2, 3 hours, it's going to be a long show at one point. So just kind of let us know, especially if you want to be on it. Definitely let us know. We'll usually record over Skype. So if you have a Skype and a way of recording, just message me on Facebook or YouTube, and we can definitely we can get something worked out.
Yeah, hit us up on YouTube, Cynical Gaming.
Yep.
And don't forget to hit that like button.
Oh, yeah.
And tell your friends about the Lyrical Voices show.
Lyrical Voices. The
Golden whatever it is.
Like I said, this will be going up on our Facebook, Golden Voices show. It'll be just on our regular feeds and then on YouTube. So wherever you're at, go ahead and check us out on the other form of social media. This is Steven and Braden signing off.
Later.